Thank you very much, Martin, for being here on our show today. Now, first of all, what is the purpose of your visit to Hanoi this time?
We were here last year in November, and that was the first time I came to Vietnam to play. And I spoke to the Danish embassy, and I said maybe we should do some more here because it was a short stay last time. So why don't we try to organize something next year? And they thought it was a great idea. So we started working on it together with the Metropole. And then the embassy said, well, we have the Constitution Day. What about doing something around that? So that's why we came back at this specific period.
So other than performing at the ambassador's residence for the Constitution Day, is there any other activities that you will be doing while you're here in Hanoi?
No, not really. I mean, just the concerts here at the Metropole. I was hoping we could do some jazz workshops or clinics at the music schools here, but this is a little bit late in June to do that because it's the end of the year. But I hope we can do that next time. It's a good opportunity to meet young, upcoming Vietnamese jazz musicians because we come as a group here, so we don't really get to play with a lot of people from here. We had Chi Minh came and played with us at the ambassador's residence. That was a great experience. But I think we could probably do many more things in the future.
Let's talk a little bit about your music career. How did you get started with playing jazz?
I was in high school. I was listening to mostly rock music, pop music, or whatever. I had a cousin who listened to jazz, and once I went to his house, and he said, "Why don't you take a couple of it and listen to them?" And I did. It was in the beginning. It was difficult because my ears were not, used to that kind of music. It takes an effort. You need to spend some time by yourself listening to the jazz music to get into it. But then it's very rewarding. You get a lot in return from it. And then I fell in love with the saxophone. I went to a shop. I rented one, and that was, just the beginning of a love affair or whatever.
So you started playing jazz in high school, and you picked up the saxophone also in high school. And by the end of high school, you were already playing in some jazz bands. That's a pretty quick development, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, well, I played with some bands there. I was not a professional musician, but I spent all my time on that, and they tried to kick me out of high school because I was never there. I just spent all my time practicing, and because the more I played, the more I found out how much how much I needed to know. That's still the same today, but at that time I figured out, wow, people around me, there are some musicians started playing when they were 5 years old or 10 years old, so I had to try to, catch up with the time.
One of Martin Jacobsen's main activities during his time in Vietnam is performing at the Sofitel Legend Metropole Hanoi. His performances were highly praised by the audience, bringing a fresh yet very familiar style of music to jazz lovers in Hanoi.
Âm nhạc của Martin chơi thì nó cũng gần gũi và người Việt Nam nghe, mình là người Việt Nam mình nghe thấy nó cũng hay và nghe nó cũng gần gũi với cả người Việt, mà nó cũng không có thấy rằng nó cũng không có cái gì nó là cách biệt giữa cái nền văn minh của châu Âu và châu Á.
Martin Jacobsen was very well received by Vietnamese and foreign audience alike. The event turned out to be a huge success.
The thing is that with Martin Jacobsen, because he's been playing all over the world, he was right before coming here in South Korea, he's going in Cambodia after that, so he has a broadened vision about what is jazz. And that's why all our Vietnamese customers and even the local expats here, they're very excited to have him because it's different music, different style. So yeah, that's a great event, yeah.
The jazz scene in Vietnam is still quite underdeveloped compared to many other countries around the world, and activities like Martin Jacobsen's tour to the country promise to give the local jazz scene a boost in reaching international standards. So Martin, can you tell us a little bit about your future plan for the next few months or maybe up until a year?
I have different travels I have to do in Europe, some projects in Italy with a Japanese piano player. I will be going to some new countries I haven't been to in October. It's east of Europe. It's Armenia, Ukraine, where the political situation is not so good these days, but we hope to be able to go there. Georgia. So that's an exciting project I'm looking forward to.
What is your experience living in Vietnam so far? Is there anything that you like about it in particular?
First of all, I think meeting Vietnamese people is just a very warm experience. So just being here feels good. Yesterday I walked around the lake nearby the hotel, and it feels good. People. Sometimes, you know, I live in Paris, and sometimes you have this feeling of people being very aggressive and stressed out and running around, and people here are probably as busy as anywhere else, but it's just the way they do it feels good, or at least they don't express their frustrations or publicly, and that's very comfortable, and it's a very good way of living. I thought, you know, this is something we can learn from.
Well, thank you very much, Martin, for joining our show today.